Welcome to episode 4 of the Invest Like a Fund Manager series. The idea behind this series is to teach myself and you how to think like an institutional investor, so when that institutional money enters the cryptocurrency space, our money is correctly allocated. In previous videos, I've talked about why institutions will invest in the crypto space. I've discussed regulations and the big coins which I believe they may favor. If you'd like to watch those videos, the links will be in the description and it'll pop up in the top right as well. In this video, we'll be talking about the important topic of whether a blockchain is really required for the majority of these cryptocurrency projects. Remember that nothing in this video or on this channel is financial advice. These videos are simply made for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to flash up the full disclaimer now. Please pause the video and read it. Here's what I think. Fund managers will not invest into any cryptocurrency project which either doesn't need a blockchain or the blockchain doesn't provide a significant benefit to the current system. Before investing into a cryptocurrency, I like to ask myself the following questions. Would this project work without a blockchain? If so, does the blockchain at least provide a significant competitive advantage? And finally, is this project offering anything different to an existing company who can simply incorporate a blockchain in the future? That last question is particularly important because I personally believe we're going to see a transition over the next few years where many existing companies incorporate the blockchain into their existing systems. Therefore, any project which is only using a blockchain as part of their overall system will have no advantage when an existing company just incorporates it. In fact, they'll be further behind because the company which was there before them will now have a blockchain they'll be using as part of their system, and they'll have the existing customer base, they'll have the brand image, and many other factors which are likely to lead them to success. What should we look out for then? Let's explain that with an example going back to the early days of the internet. After all, there are probably going to be many parallels with that time as well. Let's talk about a comparison between Netflix and Blockbuster. When Netflix began, they were a DVD online rental store, very similar in many ways to Blockbuster. Netflix incorporated the internet into a large part of their system and gained a competitive advantage over Blockbuster, who were mostly focused on having physical stores. This is similar to how many companies are going to incorporate the blockchain into their existing systems. However, as soon as blockchain made their own website, they took back that advantage, and at that point they were even further ahead because they had the massive customer base and the brand name of Blockbuster. So how did Netflix win then? Netflix won because they altered their business model. They began by incorporating the internet into parts of their operation, and then they pivoted to a business model where they put the internet at the very core of their business, i.e. online video streaming. They understood that to simply include the internet as part of their business model wasn't enough. The technology was so groundbreaking that in order to be successful over the competition, they had to redevelop their entire business model and put the internet at the very center. Netflix aren't the only example of this. Imagine jumping in a time machine, going back 20 years and trying to explain to someone Netflix, Amazon, Google, and other massive giants. All of these companies have put the internet at the very core of their operations. They haven't just included it, they've built everything around it. This is, of course, all just my own opinion, and it will be very, very interesting to see how it plays out in the future. But I personally believe we're going to see something very, very similar. We're going to see companies incorporating blockchains into their existing systems, and then the real long-term winners are going to be projects which have the blockchain at the very, very core. So those are the truly decentralized projects. A great example of this is a project I interviewed a while ago called Neue Network. During that interview, they described themselves as the equivalent to Airbnb, while the current CDM system is analogous to hotels. In other words, their solution wouldn't require expensive buildings and high maintenance costs, which you would get with hotels. Instead, they were going to tap into the existing infrastructure, similar to how Airbnb works, to provide massive cost benefits. And over time, I think that the centralized system is simply never going to be able to keep up with a decentralized system in many industries. Not all industries, but there are going to be a large number which are disrupted, similar to when the internet came along. This is all, of course, just my own opinion, but it has led me to the following two conclusions. The first one is pretty obvious, which is that I do not invest into any projects which don't even need a blockchain. And the second conclusion, which is less obvious, and that is I do not invest into projects, certainly not for the long term at least, that do not put the blockchain at the very core of their operations and build everything in a truly decentralized manner around it.